guys and gals, never hear from Drake Wayne Gaming. So be on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you on Let's Play episode of Conway. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, y'all. Alarm chain, you are up. And let's go. Let's go. Alright, so let me plug this in. There we go. All good. Okay. A lot of good tea then. Rajeeyah laughs at that. A great deal of it indeed. Areski very patronizingly explained to me and the merchant that the other stone was cut by one Al-Abbasid himself. This was from an apprentice. Truly bringing out the luster would take much more work. He offered me 20 dirhams. I took the necklace out of his hand and nearly spat in his face. It's hard to imagine a scrupulous cheetah spitting, but by the animated waving of her tail, the memory is an exciting one. He said he could give me 40, but that he'd have to return to the souk where his servants were guarding the stall. The merchant produced a gold coin from his own realm. I gave him the necklace. What was the coin worth? 100 dirhams, perhaps. He overpaid because he desired me. Areski stormed off in a huff. The merchant went back to his residence. She seems conflicted about the story. Pretty certain you know why. She doesn't want to admit the truth. She enjoyed every moment of it. That night, Areski put it back around my neck. He slipped it from the merchant without the man noticing. I felt very clever. A part of her, you sense, knows that she should feel guilty about the theft. It's not quite enough to hide the ghost of a quirky smile. That wasn't the only time. There was a romance to it, you must understand. It seems, well, if you don't mind me saying, it doesn't really seem like you. It wasn't. It was a different me. And the only time that I could be that woman. I still don't know what we were. Accomplices? Lovers? She looks around her, at the neat assortment of boxes, adorned with her delicate handwriting. Ugh. Briefly, you perceive it through her eyes at that moment, how featureless they are, like the identical brown apothecarist's bottles the boxes protect. Instead of the product of hard work and skill, a lifetime's accomplishment, the rules they impose seem to bound an existence just as featureless. He told me that I could be anything. He looked at my hands and said they could be a scribe's hands, or a surgeon's hands. He said that I was no more bound to one form, one destiny, than the sand dunes are bound to one form or destiny. And I believed him. I believe him. In spite of everything, when he says it, I believe him. That's why She trails off, looking at the piece of paper. But you could. You did become a surgeon. I know I'm never going to be able to do so, so he was right, wasn't he? Nearly. I could be nearly anything. I couldn't be his. Did you want to be? Sometimes I did. She looks away, her face momentarily darkening. Sometimes I do, but what I wanted was never going to be the only factor. What mattered more than that. In my culture, family is everything. Rajeeyah bint Yusuf means Rajeeyah, the daughter of Yusuf. You know your great-grandfather's name, or his father's. Shake your head. My father is Abu Khalid Yusuf ibn Mansur ibn Said ibn Nasif ibn Jara al-Maliha. I could keep going, but, well, what it comes down to is this. My family would never permit me to marry an outsider. A Berber at that. You know what the word barbarian? It is the same word. That's what they call the Amazigh. Areski told me that I did not need my family, and I believed him about that too. One day a letter came to me from Rabat, a town in the north. A European order there said that they were pleased to accept me as a student, recommended as I was by an Eastern sultan. He was unknown, but of great largesse. Largesse? He even included a gift to demonstrate his sincerity. A gift or a bribe? Rajeeyah smiles knowingly. Areski? Yes, my father was unhappy. Maybe he guessed? He let me go, though. I learned medicine there. Even after the Sultan stopped writing, they let me continue. When I saw Areski again, he was sincerely proud of me, I think. But he also suggested that, with what I'd learned, I could be a masterful alchemist. They're always in demand. Or a peddler of nostrums and cure-alls, or the inventor of an elixir of youth. You get the idea. And if I wanted to travel, well, think of how convincing we could be. 2 mysterious travelers from North Africa, bearing our ancient texts and wisdom. Any number of European courts would have hosted us, it was true. I just didn't. I didn't want to be that. Not anymore. I wanted to be able to stay in a town even after people learned who I was. And it turned out that I was good at being a surgeon. As good as I ever was at being a swindler. But sometimes, you still miss him. I think he does care about me. He would disappear or be on the run, but more than that, he cares about those close to him. In his own way. I think I told you this already, but sometimes when he left, it was because they needed help. Money to bribe a local official who was detaining them, or something more direct. Someone quick with a blade. I can respect that somewhat, even if it put us at odds at times. But we try. Your eyes linger on the crumpled papers. Some difficulty, it seems. You know that by now. I wouldn't have left if there weren't difficulties. I guess relationships always require some effort. I suppose. I've written him hundreds of letters since then, if not more. Her attention shifts to the table again. That's good, isn't it? You've been on this ship for a few years. That sounds like what? Probably a letter every other week, if not more. I haven't sent a single one of them. Oh, not even one? She just shakes her head. Even this one. She takes the sheet of paper and lifts it from the table, reading it in silence. I've written this letter 100 times, maybe more. Yet I cannot get it right. It almost feels like there's something in me that doesn't want to get it right. I wish I knew the solution. I don't expect you to, James. I appreciate the set of ears. Still, all of a sudden you realize how tense you have become, and you take a slow breath. I think I should visit him again, even after how long it's been. If only to ask how he's doing. But you're afraid of what he might say. Or rather, what he might not say. She leans back in the chair, staring at the ceiling. If only he could simply be waiting there when we arrive to take the decision from me. Does he write to you? Well, between the two of us, I travel further, at more inconvenient times and in more inconvenient fashions. Who knows what port I'll call it next? I can't expect him to write. Just that she could do better. Okay, so this seems like a very important decision, so I'm gonna... that right there. Okay. So she keep trying. We should try to find him. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll be in port for some reason, or close enough to travel before we sail again. Or... you're not thinking of leaving the ship, though, are you? No. Thank God, Arthur really wouldn't forgive me then. I'm still thankful for my work on the Conway. This is something that occupies my thoughts, but I don't think it's the one that will replace them. I mean to write the letter, at least. I'm just not sure what to say. Do you still have feelings for him? Rajeeyah takes a long time to gather her thoughts. Her eyes seem to be searching, although not for anything in the room. Something deeper. My father's name, as I said, is Yusuf al-Maliha. That should be mine. Not al-Maghribi? You try harder to pronounce it the way she does. Rajeeyah's muzzle cracks in a brief grin at the attempt. No. Al-Maghribi means of the Maghreb, the desert. Is that? Ereskis? No, their naming customs are different. But I thought that it might be the one we adopt someday. I didn't mean it as an alias, but it felt better when I was studying and traveling. Over time, it simply became who I am, closer to him than not. He brings out the worst in me, and the best. You should tell him that, then. Obviously, you haven't forgotten him. Perhaps there's a way that things could work out for you. You really think so? Despite everything? All the times we've gone our separate ways? How long we've been apart? I don't know, but I'd say you owe it to yourself to try. If he doesn't realize what he's doing, then, well, at least you know. Don't take my advice too seriously. It's not like I know what I'm talking about. The cheetah dispenses with that and a gentle shake of her head. It's still reasonable advice. I appreciate you giving it to me. And I have been thinking of trying to catch him again, even if just to see how he's doing. I suppose I should try once again and see what happens. He'll be tying up soon enough, and then there'll be plenty to do. Oh yeah, it's good water. I'm looking forward to it now. Samuel was right about you, you know. Samuel? Her smile widens a nick. She told me how kind you were that time when he pulled you aside after the first night. She said that she felt so silly opening up to you, but you were just nothing but kind, despite how silly she thought it was. Oh, that. It wasn't silly of her. I'd never dare to think about that about Samuel, or anyone for that matter, being vulnerable with me. If anything, I really enjoyed the morning with her. You rubbed the back of your head. She did as well, she said. Try to enjoy yourself, too. Thanks for lending an ear, James. I really am happy that you'll be leaving with us when we sail again. Aw, damn it. Alright, so that is apparently it right now for Samuel's path. Okay. Alright. Still got a bit more content to get through for some other paths, I believe. Development. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Or is it really necessary? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Through being included right in the main menu. I'm going to save and please scroll back. Okay. I actually like how they have it. Alright. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to have a quick shout out to all of our lovely patrons. Thank you all for everything you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!